Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance. When talking about mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance and talking about things that can help mast cell syndrome, it's important to recognize that because people with mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance have a lot of sensitivities. It's really important when starting new herbs, new supplements, new foods to be very careful and do it slowly. But there are a lot of natural supplements that can help. One of my favorites for mast cell activation syndrome is quercetin. Quercetin's a bioflavonoid and has a number of very important qualities. One of them is that it can help with managing and removing heavy metals. Heavy metals can be one of the sources of mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance. Another thing quercetin can do is it can help repair a leaky gut. And a leaky gut basically means that there's along the lining of the intestines, there's these junctions that absorb nutrients from our food and those nutrients go into the bloodstream. But the gaps through which those nutrients are absorbed, they're supposed to be pretty tight. They're called tight junctions where the nutrients are absorbed. If the junctions aren't tight, if they're looser, then things that aren't nutrients can get absorbed into the bloodstream and into the body. And when these other things get absorbed into the body, recognizes them as a threat, even if they're not a threat. And it will cause an inflammatory response. So, this can be one of the reasons people have mast cell activation syndrome. So, healing a leaky gut can be very important with treating mast cell activation syndrome. Another source of mast cell activation syndrome can be limbic system dysregulation or dysautonomia. And this can happen after someone has had a stress in their life. The stress can be having experienced a virus. It can be a result of a post viral syndrome like long haul COVID. It can be post Epstein Barr virus. It can also be post Lyme, which isn't a virus, it's a bacteria. And these things can trigger mast cell activation syndrome. With dysautonomia, what happens is the limbic system, which is the part of our brain that regulates emotions and also regulates our immune system, that part of our brain gets dysregulated. And there's also a component with the vagus nerve, which is the longest cranial nerve in the body. And that goes from our brain to the area around our heart, the area around our gut. That can become dysregulated too. And the parasympathetic nervous system, which has to do with the vagus nerve, can get dysregulated. And that has to do with our immune system and our immune system response. So, with this sort of dysautonomia, the person becomes much more sensitive to stressors. And these stressors can be chemical stressors, these stressors can be foods, these stressors can be fragrances, these stressors can be just anxiety and stress. There are a lot of different stressors that the person can become much more sensitive to, and these stressors can very easily trigger symptoms in the person and trigger flare ups. One of the ways of addressing MCAS and histamine intolerance is dealing with this limbic system dysregulation. And one of the ways of doing that is doing everything a person can to mitigate stress, mitigate anxiety, mitigate chemical stressors, while at the same time increasing the sense of safety, giving the brain a sense of safety. This is a hard process, and there is a lot of information out there on it, and it's called brain rewiring. There are different ways of doing brain rewiring, and I suggest researching that as an option. But there are also more supplements other than quercetin that can help. There are supplements that actually can be good for the limbic system. A lot of essential oils, if you're not sensitive to essential oils, can be good for the limbic system and soothing to the limbic system, and also soothing and modulating to the immune system. A couple of those, lavender is one, which is more suitable for women to use because it can have some phytohormonal properties. But another one that is suitable for both men and women, if you're sensitive to it, is boswellia or frankincense. And that is an essential oil or a resin that's used as a health supplement. And that can be used as a mast cell stabilizer, but it's also very calming. So that is useful on a number of different levels. Another thing that's really helpful is taking a good vitamin B complex, but vitamin B, one of the vitamin Bs that's the most important in this is vitamin B1, thiamine. Vitamin B1, thiamine has a lot to do with the body and the brain's interaction, and it really helps regulate a vagal tone, helps the vagus nerve. And when you help the vagus nerve, you help modulate the body's response to different triggers. And that can help calm the immune system down and calm down the immune response. So, those are a couple of things that I have off the top of my head about mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance, some things that I've found helpful. And I will continue to talk more about this and other subjects in other videos. Please hit the subscribe button and so you can get notified when I have new videos. Have a good day.